Good evening, everybody there at home. I hope you all had a fantastic day or a great weekend whenever you're watching this video. It's me again, the Big Z Man, known as Doug Zerbel. Got some more information for you, so get your pen and paper out, and hopefully you got a few pointers that you want to know. People ask me, Doug, what are some of the traits that made you successful? Well, I like I said before, I'm not the smartest person in the world, and I'm not afraid of learning from other people. So I have some tips that I'd like to tell you today that I actually got from a clinical psychologist from Kansas State University, Dr. Barry, and I wrote some of these things down, and I used my own swing to it, and so I'm going to tell you to write these things down, and people say, what are some things that make people successful? So they did a little research. They found out some of the most successful traits, and the first thing is having the right attitude. Like I said before in my other video, 99% of my success was my attitude. I always had a great attitude, and so when you have the right attitude, you're on the right track. A lot of people say you got to be smart. You want to be book smarts or you want to be street smarts. I just say just having the right attitude. You have that positive attitude, people can attract it. So make sure you have the right attitude. The second trait they always talk about is develop a plan and stick to it. What is your game plan? Where do you want to be 6 months from today? Where do you want to be a year from today? A lot of us, we take it day by day. We're called job hoppers. We take something, a job for a few weeks or 2 months and whatever, and then you change again. The problem is you're always starting over again. So if you're going to do something, go all in. It's just like poker. You're going to win, you got to go all in. So develop a plan and stick to it. The third thing is get confident about yourself. Confidence goes a long way. Like I said, I'm doing these videos because I am very confident about what I've done. My background of 30 years of experience of hiring, developing, training. I've run seminars in front of thousands of people. Obviously, you can see some of my awards for sales recognitions and things like that. Just get confident about what you're doing. I'm willing to compete against anybody. This is a new venture for me. Getting on this YouTube and talking to people. You're more than welcome. I'm willing to call me anytime you want. The fourth thing is develop your support group. What kind of support group do you need? Okay, like I said, I'm here to help people. You're more than welcome to email me through these YouTubes, and if you have any questions, whatever, more than welcome. I'm your best supporter. So I'm here to help you, whatever you can do. The fifth thing is don't expect fairness. Sometimes people tell you life isn't fair. People, Doug, you were so lucky. You were so lucky to get started. No, I wasn't lucky. I'm one of those people who did what you're supposed to. Go to college, graduate, get that degree. The only problem, my degree was in physical education and sports medicine. And I started to start my own business when I was 27 years old, and I haven't worked a job since then. And the reality is I did it on myself. I learned direct sales. I learned how to sell stuff out of cars. I went door to door, whatever I had to do, and I had to grind for it. So I grew up in that kind of world. The sixth thing is learn how to bounce back. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. And the reality is, if you don't know how to bounce back, they can stop you from the next day. The reality is you're only good as your last day. If you play golf, like I love to play golf. You probably see some of the little things about golf up here, but I love to play golf. And just because you had a bad hole doesn't mean that you should quit the game. I've seen people throw their clubs in the water or whatever you have to do. You're going to have good days and bad days. That's why it's called a game. Life's a game. The one they always say with the most toys usually wins. So bounce back when you had a tough time. The seventh thing is stop putting things off. The reality is when you put things off, all you're doing is piling stuff up for later on. The best thing is when you think about it, you need to get it done. So if you know that you need something new, if you want to change, you want to get your hair cut, whatever it is, get it done now. Don't wait till later. The eighth thing is start liking yourself. I know that I'm not the best looking person in the world, but I have the best attitude. And the reality is I like what I've done. I like what I've accomplished. And the reality is you need to start liking yourself more. We always wish we were a little taller, or we were a little thinner, or whatever. But you know what? Just start changing that stuff right now. Remember your attitude, and it'll start liking yourself. The ninth thing is be realistic. What's realistic for you? Well, is it realistic for you to go out and make $100,000 next week? Well, I don't think so. And the reality is it realistically for you to make six figures this year? Heck yes, it is. The reality is when I was 27 years old, I was making over six figures my first year. By the time I was 32, I made my first million. But I didn't know it was realistic at the time I started doing it. But I kept on working. I didn't stay unmotivated. I was realistic with my lifestyle. So the reality is, are you realistic with your lifestyle? And last but not least is have fun. And that's one of the biggest things that I think I've done. I've always had fun with this. Obviously, you can see my office that I built in 1995. I had fun with the way I do things. I've traveled over 130 vacations. I have a lot of fun. So just to recap those real quickly, gang, make sure you have the right attitude. Number one, develop a plan and stick to it is number two. Get confident about what you're doing is number three. Develop a support group is number four. Don't expect fairness is number five. Learn how to bounce back is number six. and stop putting things off as number 7. Start liking yourself as number 8, and be realistic as number 9. And last but not least, make sure you have fun with things you're doing. It was great seeing and talking to everybody today. Hope you watch this video, share this video, wherever you have to do. But we'll see you at the next one. Take care.